Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of Whiskey Sour Libations and Conversations with your girl Dom. This week we have an amazing special guest. You know, I love when we have new people to the podcast, but that will ultimately end up becoming season series regulars. We like a regular to pop in and give us their takes on different things. This guy is a champagne guru, sommelier, if you will, and is here to teach us a little bit about the champagne life. Everybody, please welcome to the stage Cornelius Anthony Jr.
It's a pleasure. It's a pleasure to be here. I finally made it. I made the big time. I
Oh my gosh, thank you.
made the big time.
How are you? How
I'm
are
doing
you?
well. Doing well. It's hot. It's hot as hell in Houston, but I'm doing good. Doing good. I can't complain. It's an honor to be here finally.
Yeah, I mean, I cannot imagine the Houston heat right now. I was there back at the end of when did I go to Houston? That was May. I went for DreamCon and they already
Okay.
have the date set
Yeah.
for next year. And baby, that's in the middle of July. I said, I don't know who thought that was a good idea, especially for people that cosplay and has to add on like all these layers of clothing. But that's crazy as hell. But I'll be there though, and I
Hey,
might dress up next year.
Houston's a beautiful city. Despite the weather, I like to call our summertime like the Midwest winter because we really don't have a winter time.
Okay.
Houston has three seasons: spring, summer, and hurricane. That's it. And summer and hurricane blend in together. Like our winter time, like we get like cold fronts. We don't have like a cold like season or whatnot. So wintertime here is like you can dress comfortably, warm and you'll still be fine. At home you gotta layer up. You gotta wear like long johns, 2-3 pair of socks with your boots on, and 2-3 layers of shirts. And nah, you ain't gotta do that here, man. Nah, just dress warm and you'll be fine.
Yeah, no, LA is similar in a sense, but I would say because of global warming,
Yeah.
things have been getting chillier. But LA, people also forget that LA is kind of like a desert.
hmm
So you get that extreme heat and
hmm
then you get that extreme cold. I'm a little nervous because our summer has been really, really mild. And
Really?
so yeah, we've had a mild summer. But I will say like this week it'll be like a day or two where it's like 90s
Right.
and then it's like low to mid 80s and then that temperature just drops, but it's been a mild summer, which leads me to believe that we're gonna have our summer really doesn't start till around this time for real. So that
Okay.
means that like we're gonna probably closer to even Thanksgiving still be pushing like 90 something around that time. And the interesting thing about LA, because the temperature was so moderate
Mhm.
before all of these changes in, like the weather with global warming, a lot of places don't have central heating and cooling.
Really? Oh,
Yeah, my
they're cool
apartment,
too.
yeah, a lot of apartments, and I have an older. I live in a spot that's rent control. I'm like Harry and
Okay.
Sex in the City. Okay, this is gonna be my apartment until I buy. Okay,
I
because it's
understand.
yeah. I'm like somebody, and listen, somebody got a pool. We can go over there. We can go to the beach. Whatever. No amenities. There's no
Yeah,
gym on the property. The
yeah,
amenities that's supposed to be laundry are
yeah.
trash. But that's neither here or there. I go to my brother's house to wash my clothes or to the
There you go.
laundromat, depending
There you
on the size of the comforter. But typically, you get like a lot of. I've seen new apartments be built without central heating and cooling, and it's the wall unit that you
Yeah,
see, kind
yeah.
of like when you go like to Mexico and all
Right,
of that. That is really
right.
a lifesaver. I was like, oh, maybe that's something I'll invest in down the line. But at the moment, I have AC in my bedroom and in the living room, common
You
space.
talking about like the window joint, the joint
Mhm.
you can. Okay, okay.
Yeah, so I got a window. I got a window unit that's like around 10,000 BTUs,
Oh, that's
cools
tough.
up to seven
Yeah.
750 square feet.
No, that's
So yeah, so it's cool. And then I tinted the back windows because the
okay.
windows are old and they're not gonna replace them, which I'm about to file another complaint. They're
Hey,
gonna replace the windows.
they ain't gonna change it unless you do. I mean, when I
Yeah.
was in college, what we used to do at Southern was we used to put up aluminum foil Spray paint it with
Yeah.
some Windex, put some aluminum foil up. Your room will be super cold. It looks like nighttime 24/7, but
Yeah, I see because of my psyche and like getting depressed, anxious sometimes. No,
yeah.
no, no. I need that sunlight to come through. So I did the tinted, I tinted that one, but what I probably end up doing because it reflects that heat, those UV rays, I
Mhm.
will likely do clear on the front windows.
Okay.
But it was just the ones on the back wall. So and then I took sealant tape and in spots where because I was like, where are these flies coming in? Like I was so confused. And then in certain spots, I like put the sealant tape,
Yeah.
any opening, because I'm like, like I came home one day. It was one of the days where it was cool. So all I had was the window open in the living room.
Right.
I had the dog, she was watching TV or whatever. So I was like, why the door isn't open to the balcony? Where did these flies come from? So I was like, oh, okay. As I was doing, big, you know, call me for your window tinting needs.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I figured out, I was like, oh snap. So fixed all of that. We've been good ever since. So
Nice.
yes.
Nice. Nice.
Yeah, so but I told them, I was like, yo, the windows along the back wall do not close.
We
Y'all
got
gotta get that taken care of. And if it's
it.
not closed, if y'all don't get it, I say tell him to come get something to push it in. But I don't want to have to file a complaint, but I will. And I'll be trying to be cool.
You got to. You got to.
But
Hey.
because listen, I only be trying to be cool because the property, like the manager girl, she was like, and so you try to be cool. I'm like, but you know what? Don't have shit to do with nothing. The quality of life has gone down.
It's very important.
Y'all got to get it together.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So what we doing today? What's going on?
Yeah. So today, we're gonna talk a little bit about your world of champagne, but I
Absolutely.
kind of want to start off just a little bit with something kind of interesting that's been happening in the world of spirits and wine surrounding Uncle Nearest.
Absolutely. That's
And
the big topic.
right, right. It's so interesting and intriguing. And, as a fan of the brand, as a person, as a patron of the brand, we love a good whiskey over here. But, I was talking to Daryl about the ins and outs of this case
Mhm.
and trying to figure out kind of what's going on. And so you are someone that has a direct line to what's happening because you are of that world. I'm interested to know what you and your peers are thinking about this crazy ownership switch of ownership
Mhm.
regarding Uncle Nearest, and because they defaulted on $108 million loan that they
Absolutely.
claimed that they were not privy to, of the amount that was taken out by their former CFO, who is now under investigation.
Absolutely.
So, kind of give us a quick of what you think could be happening, or what will end up, what the end result will be.
Um, yeah, it is the hottest story in the wine and spirit business. It's a very unfortunate thing. This is one thing, like this is not uncommon. It's
Right.
just with the status of Uncle Nearest and with it being Fawn, who is such a very prevalent public face, not only just for the Black community, but just in the wine and spirit industry as a whole. It's just got blown really, really big. I will say for myself personally, and everything I'm saying is my opinion. These are not reflection of things that I know from inside, anything like that. It's just my opinion of what I think it is. Um, the background basically is they took out a loan. They CFO took out a loan for 108 million. He used their barrels as kind of like collateral or whatnot, and he overvalued the barrels or whatnot. Which I mean, I'm not gonna sit here and say it's an honest mistake. That's a very big mistake to make because you fill out your loan application, they do ask for collateral, and but the only thing I would say about that is that usually there's some type of audit done from the bank to make sure that the whiskey barrels or any collateral is valued at what you said it is valued at. So I'm kind of surprised it even got this far um,
Yep.
as it did, because I know as a business owner trying to take out loans and you can use your car, your house, whatever, and you can say, hey, yeah, my car is valued at $35,000. They be like, okay, but really it's valued at 15, 20,000. They just don't take your word for it. If that was the case, a lot of us would be taking out loans, business or personal, based upon that. The issue was that they were supposed to pay on the loan $10 million up front, and they defaulted on that. What didn't help their case was Fawn and her husband bought that house in Martha's Vineyard.
Yep.
I don't know if they used that because that was from business funds or that was personal, but at the time it just didn't look. It just either way, it just wasn't a good time. It's timing is everything when it comes to business,
Correct.
and I don't hate them for wanting to do that. Hey, if you got the money, you can live. Go ahead and do so. I would love to have a place in Martha's Vineyard. Hope one day to have one. I think the even bigger one was when they purchased the cognac distillery in France. It's kind of weird with me on that issue in regards to that because I know myself, because I dealing with champagne. Champagne is in France or whatnot. And let's say like me and you, for example, you're like, hey, Cornelius, like I really want to do my own champagne label, but I don't want to do a label. I want to have like my own vines. You want to pass this down to like my kids, something that could happen, something I can keep within my family. You can't do it. If you're not a U.S. citizen, if you're not a French citizen, somebody that lives in France and a French citizen, you just can't go to these different regions of wine and spirits and just be like, you want to um, purchase a distillery or land or anything like that. So I'm kind of interested to see how that's going to play out. What it seems to me, they probably have a front person that's running that, and they're just the money behind it. Those two are the two major things. With the CFO getting in trouble, see, he's in more deeper water than Fondum. Fondum are in a whole different type of, I wouldn't say necessarily trouble. I would just say their hands are kind of tied.
Yeah.
Uh, and so basically the outcome of where it stands currently is that they are under a receivership. For those who don't know, understand what a receivership is, I got a nice little definition for you. Receivership is when a court appoints a neutral third party, a receiver, to temporarily take over control of a company that is in financial trouble. So basically, just to give you I always like to try and give like a simple like day-to-day breakdown of what that is and what that means. So basically, look at it like this. Let's say Dom, you have a restaurant, all right? Your cousin has an idea for a restaurant. You're like, hey, I'm gonna front this restaurant for you, and then you're gonna come and check and see that the books aren't right. So then you will bring somebody in and be like, hey, you can run the day-to-day, but this person I'm appointing to you is going to run the finances. You basically don't have no control over the register no more. You don't touch no money, no nothing. All you do is serve chicken, whatever the restaurant is, and you do commercials, post, any type of branding, totally fine. But anything dealing with the finances, it has to go to this person I appoint as the receiver for that. And that's going to happen until the courts decide either find them are going to have to either give up majority ownership, or they'll be like, okay, cool. It was just a simple mistake. Maybe you guys did know the CFO was doing what he was doing. We'll give you guys a chance to try and make this right. So that's currently where they're at. I would say this, what I think personally, one thing I've learned about business, like from my mentors, that you always got to have an accountant accounting your accountant.
Yep.
You can't just rely and trust on a single person, or people steal. You know what I'm saying? It's just, and it's
Yep.
not personal, it's just business. If you have the capability and the funds to do so, yeah, have somebody account to your account and make sure that things are done right and done things correctly. I also think that also for us as African Americans is that um, this is first time wealth, I think, for her and her husband. And I think sometimes with that we get kind of laxed on things because we're living a certain type of life that we're getting access to money and a lifestyle that we're not normally accustomed to. Shifan does come from a very, very great background, but sometimes it's just natural and it's nobody's fault. It's a very teachable moment. Is
Yeah.
that you always have to stay on top of the ball, make sure your I's are dotted and your T's are crossed to avoid things like this. Do I think that she's getting because she's under a gag order, so she can't really talk about
Right. Right.
it. She can't. They didn't. This the court did. The court said that they put a gag order on her because they didn't want this to be fought in the media. So I don't think this is a personal vendetta against a black woman who owns a whiskey distillery. I just think that you know just got caught up in the lifestyle and caught up in the life, and just wasn't paying attention to things and entrusting people to do a job that um, they just didn't do well, and her and her husband are gonna have to pay the price for that, unfortunately.
That's interesting you say that because that's always the narrative that we hear. And
Mhm.
for me, it's more so I'm like you, I'm like, okay, you had somebody come in and we see it happen, especially when it comes to our people
Right.
coming into wealth. Someone, that comes to mind is what Dennis Rodman
Absolutely.
being robbed of millions of dollars from his accountant and
Mhm.
not ever being able to recoup those funds.
Mhm.
And then you see the flip side of that where we're one denied loans and we're seeing doors closing for so many different black brands. And it's just not even black brands. Like I know there are other whiskey brands that have filed bankruptcy
Mhm.
and the short time that, Trump has been in office because a lot of the policy and things that were put into place to help, businesses, small businesses in particular, have been wiped out. And
Absolutely.
so, but we also understand that loans are predatory, especially for people that look like us, because I know it was something I was reading where the interest rate on that loan as they defaulted was like something like
Crazy.
$28,000
Crazy.
a day. And it's like
Crazy.
that's unheard of. But then you have other brands speaking up and talking about, like, I know one of them is Aurora James. She owns
Yeah.
a luxury shoe brand called Brother Belly's,
Mhm.
where she was saying the interest rate was astronomical, where it was almost like they could never recover
Yeah.
from just borrowing to keep their business afloat.
I
And
like
so
to
people
call it
have to rebrand and restructure just to, be able to survive.
I like to call it a Meek Mills type of loan. It was kind of, remember Meek Mills had that unprecedented, you on 15-year probation. Like basically you get a ticket, you going to jail. Like
Right.
you basically in a
Right.
situation where like as long as y'all in business, y'all gonna owe us. And
Yeah.
that's why I kind of figured in a way that they didn't really know about it. But it's kind of hard to not realize, like, if you checking your statements and stuff, like, like me, I check my business stuff. It may be the same for a month, but I'm checking it. And 108 million is is kind of hard to know that you don't have access to.
Yeah. And
But
I think it's one of those things where, so if, let's say
yeah,
hypothetically, this
allegedly.
guy
Yeah.
is did do something incorrectly
Mhm.
where overvalued the brand, because we remember, I think it was last summer or the summer before last, it came out that um Uncle Nearest was valued at $1 billion, the
Absolutely.
valuation of
Yeah.
the company. So now you're setting the precedent and the stage that, like, these barrels, all the things that we've done, marketing, you know, on top of like how we engage with the brand, bringing new people to this brand.
Mhm.
And then, so you're like, so that's step one, to put it out here that we have X, Y, and Z. Now we have to go and borrow. And like you said, we don't know if the Martha's Vineyard was purchased under their LLC or this distillery was, which I would assume the distillery
Yeah,
was.
I would assume out of
And
both, I would
yeah, I'm with you. I'm assuming both because tax write-offs, all of this
yeah.
stuff where you are able, and then and see, and where they were doing with Martha's Vineyard was creating a a space where people could come and commune together. You could taste the whiskeys
Right.
and all of this stuff.
It's
So
like
it
a
wasn't like, oh, we just
tasting
got this
experience.
house.
Yeah.
You actually created an immersive experience for your patrons to
Right.
come and fraternize with each other, right?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Um, and so you see these different steps, and then all of a sudden, like as you read into it, they're like, well, we didn't know. But I'm with you, like, how did you guys, and it's possible. We see this
Right.
all the time where things fall on the radar. And because this is not your strong suit, you're taking what they're saying at face value. They're correct. They know money. They're certified and educated in this space that I am not.
Very much.
So I think the conversation is, when it comes to us as Black people, is understanding finance and money now.
Yeah.
We have to start having those conversations at a younger age.
Oh, for sure.
Where, as a 38-year-old woman, I don't really know too much about, stocks and bonds and all this
Mhm.
stuff, but it's taking a moment to, okay, what does this look like? Can I partner with someone that has like a basic understanding of what this looks like, and what should I be doing outside of, okay, you taking $50 out your paycheck and putting it in an IRA?
Right.
What does that do?
Right. How does it accrue interest from? How does it benefit me over the course of time?
Absolutely, yeah.
All those things are very, very important. And again, I would say this is the one thing I don't. Oh, excuse. Hey, hold on, Dom. Somebody at my door. Give me 1 second. All right, I'll be right back. But I mean, I think it's very important to have those conversations. I just think the thing I didn't like the most, because I did. Did you see her post she made? Uh,
Okay, and I was going to go there because we talk about the gag order, and I'm thinking of things from my world, being in journalism,
right.
publicity, and understanding that. And I know that she's under this gag order, but for me, I felt like what her sentiments or what her statement should have been was, guys, there's so many things that's happening within the company. There's changes that's happening. Yes, you are aware of what has been put in place. And though I can't speak about it, all I can do is encourage you guys to continue to shop our brand
Absolutely.
and support us, because we want to be able to still have full ownership of our company. And as we get this sorted out, um, what we need is you guys' support.
Absolutely.
And that support comes from is you guys buying into our brand. So whatever that looks like for you, if it's like, maybe you normally buy one bottle, you buy two, or things like that. But pulling the numbers, I feel like violates the gag order a little bit. Like, we're aware, like, you guys, we know we can pull that up.
Yeah, that's public. That's public
We're,
record.
and I'm like, oh God, I don't know if this is in violation or this could get you in trouble. And just say, hey guys, like, we see you guys are booming, you are hitting certain numbers and certain metrics. It's so many ways to. I said she did not run this through her publicist.
PR.
She
He
did not
couldn't
run
have.
that through her manager at all, because I would have said, no, we need to word this differently. You can come out and say something. And even if we don't talk about metrics and numbers, this is a call to action.
Right.
This is a call to action where we are telling people what that looks like. And now behind closed doors, you're calling people, heavy hitters, to get involved with your brand and what that looks like. We need I need $10 million today.
Like, yeah, basically.
Not tomorrow,
Yeah.
today,
Today. By end of
to
business.
pay them.
By end of business.
Yes. So in order for, like, what does that look like? And I have seen, and the cool thing about this is you're seeing an interesting dialogue, people wanting to understand what
Right.
happens. I'm a person, though my business is on a halt, I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm trying to understand like what's happening. But you also seeing people wanting to actually help.
Yeah.
What do we need to do? Who
Yeah.
do we need to call? Somebody said, call Tyler Perry. Sure, call Tyler.
Call it.
But whatever that looks like, people are like, how can we help our reach? This is too much of an important brand for our people to let it collapse and fall by the wayside and go into, like you said, the for y'all own a less percentage of your company. So what do we need to do to support you? And I love seeing that sense of community for something positive. And though, like you said, mistakes have been made,
Yeah.
you oversold, you overplayed your hand a little bit.
Yeah.
But they probably end up they're gonna have to sell that Martha Vineyards
Oh yeah.
home,
Yeah. Both of
and
those.
then
Both of those.
restructure, and that would be the first thing. I was like, hey, this is valued at XYZ. We've
Right.
made these updates, so this was valued at $3 million or $4 million. However, now this is valued at 15. That would be the first thing that I would have done.
I mean, for myself, I definitely agree with what you're saying. I took it from a different approach, kind of like when she got into the thing about future entrepreneurs. I just, for me, I think transparency would have been best.
Yeah.
And I don't know if she couldn't say it because she is under gag order, but it's I would just kind of just throw little hints out there like, listen, you have to be in control of everything. You know,
Yeah,
you can't just be in control, just be the face and not worry about the day to day, the financial aspect. I just
absolutely.
I would rather that conversation be had because she has a lot of African Americans in general, but especially a lot of young black women entrepreneurs in general who look up to her.
I
Uh,
do.
and have that conversation. You don't have to go into
Yeah.
deep detail or anything like that, but and this is one thing I do not like about us is that you don't have to throw God in it. Okay, you ain't got it.
Okay, we listen. I'm a firm believer in that too. I'm like everything because sometimes, and I get it. It goes back to us and our discernment because
Yeah,
we equate that discernment to
yeah,
God and being
yeah.
alert and being aware.
Totally get it.
But and sometimes things just be lessons. It don't necessarily mean because I'm a firm believer that God puts us in certain
Oh,
positions
oh yeah,
to be able to make the plays. Like he gave you the idea.
yeah,
So and you executed that dope ass idea. But like what we said, going back to, we got to double check and low and high key triple check
yeah,
what's happening because it's like you said, experiencing things, experiencing wealth that we don't know about. So for me, like as I go back to the drawing board about my candle business,
right.
this is something like, and I saw someone say something about something that Mark Cuban said, I guess on Shark Tank to people. And he says it to particularly like black people, don't be going in there borrowing money, figure out another way
Yeah,
because of that. People took it as if he was being racist, but he was like, no, this should be even more predatory for y'all. Like they set it up like that where you always owe, where they can end up taking control of something. And he was just like, that's just the nature of the business. So if you don't know, or if there's somebody else that you can connect to and network with where they would invest in your business, do that. Don't go and I mean, and that's just what it is. I'm gonna listen to a Mark Cuban before I listen to Homeboy on the corner.
absolutely. I mean,
Um,
there's so many different ways of financing.
yeah,
I don't know if a CDFI has the funds that they would need, but as a starting entrepreneur, like I'm not going to like Bank of America or Wells Fargo or Chase. I'd rather go to like a CDFI or try and find grants and thing of that nature.
yeah,
If I ain't gonna have no problem finding money nowhere, wherever Fine want to go to get some money, she's gonna definitely get it.
yeah,
I just again, like I said, it goes back to it's like sports. You can't be great unless you understand the fundamentals.
yeah,
And that's a fundamental thing. Like you gotta know. I'm the type. I need to know where every penny go, every penny, every dollar, everything. And that's the type of way you have to keep it, because you can't because you're gonna have a strong team. Even with your strong team, trust is on. I only trust you as far as I can see it.
yeah,
Making something a large loan purchase like that, and I mean, even I'm just trying to understand why they couldn't do the 10 million because
yeah.
your
That
value,
and that was the part that I was just like, y'all ain't got $10 million like in liquid
right?
where
Ain't
y'all
got
can pull
liquid
that.
10 million. Like, how is that possible? Y'all a $1 billion business. So how do you not have 10 million liquid? It's the math ain't mathing.
It's not.
And I hate that's why when she made her statement, I was like, when you make statements like that, let's just say God forbid it goes bad. Then it makes that statement like you are, how can I put it? You are basically using spirituality and stuff in the essence of knowing that you were doing wrong. And that's not cool.
Yeah, it's gonna be definitely interesting to see. And I'll definitely, we'll talk about this
Oh
again
yeah.
and do something on the side regarding that. But when we talk about building businesses and brands, that's something you are very privy to, and you are down in the mud
Yeah.
when it comes to the art of champagne.
Yes,
you
absolutely.
know um I was reading about you and trying to get stuff so we could talk some something about some champagne today.
Absolutely.
So, I was reading an article about you where it was said you kind of fell into the industry, the wine industry by accident. Um, Looking back at that, do you see that as fate or just good timing?
I mean, I honestly see it as fate. Uh,
Okay.
I had, I didn't grow up around, a house where, wine was something like I'm a preacher's kid. My dad wasn't drinking. The only time my dad ever really drank growing up was like hot toddy or something for like a
Oh
cold.
wow,
My
yeah.
mom never drank it all. My mom's drink of choice was Pepsi. She drank Pepsi like the OGs in the neighborhood drank 40. That was like her thing. Her cup and her 2 liter Pepsi.
I love a good
So I
Pepsi
kind of
though.
like just I kind of just fell in my lap. Um,
Okay.
I was a project manager for a construction company, a cabinetry company in a suburb here in Houston, and they wound up getting bought out by a bigger corporation. And my department, as a project manager, was the first one to go. And I was with my oldest son's mom. We were newlyweds at the time, and wrote it out, did unemployment, applied for jobs in project management, and didn't get any callbacks or anything. And I was like, listen, unemployment about to run out. I gotta find something. So I had started applying to like grocery store. That's how desperate I was. I was like, man, I gotta get something. And I was like, I need something I can do overnight because, childcare
Oh,
is
yeah.
it's like paying a whole nother mortgage. And so my idea basically was that I could, work overnight, do some overnight, at a grocery store or something. I don't care if I gotta do receiving or stock the shelves. But in the
Yeah.
daytime, I could save us, from daycare. I'll be able to watch our son. So I went to the interview. I always wear suits. This is not just for the interview. This is me basically 90% of the time you see me, I'm gonna be wearing a suit probably. And the lady was like, Miss Sylvia, I'll never forget her. She was like, hey, you are like way too overqualified for this. And I'm confrontational, but I'm very kind of hesitant when it comes. I'm a very humble person, so I appreciated her saying that. But I was like, listen, I can't leave here without a job. I don't care if you tell me I can be a bagger, I'll be a cashier, even though I don't like messing with other people's money. Like I can't leave here without a job. She's like, man, you know what? We have this wine steward position, and I had no idea what a wine steward even entailed. I was just like, bet I'll take it. Whatever. Cool, cool. What I got to do? What's happening with this? And I only got one question. She was like, yeah. I was like, do I have to wear the blue shirt? Because they're at Kroger's. You got to wear that blue, ugly, light blue polo, and blue is my favorite color. I can't wear this to work every day. I'm not. That's just not me. She's like, no, you can dress the way you dress right now. That's totally fine. I was like, well, okay, what do I need to do? She was like, well, you got to go through this real rigorous, wine training, and to get you kind of understand the wines, understand your department. I was like, okay, bet. And that conversation, man, changed my life. That was in September of, man, 2015.
Okay.
2015. And I've been in the industry. It'll be 10 years next month.
Okay. Love it. Love it. And so it's just funny because we're seeing, I think what's really cool about this space
Mhm.
is that we're seeing more people that look like us
Oh,
kind
yeah.
of venture into it. I have a homeboy that's a sommelier, my friend Devin. And shout out to Devin because I gotta get him on the show. I hit Devin up just randomly on a whim
Nice.
when I got let go from my job when I was working at Saks back in 2016. And immediately was like, hey, we need a hostess at Wally's. And Wally's, guys, is this like it's a wine bar,
Okay.
and but it's in Beverly Hills. You can never get a table. So I was the woman with the plan. I was like, okay, I'm gonna go up in here and I'm gonna snatch me up a baller or
Yeah.
somebody or
Yeah.
whatever. I ain't gonna be, but because you get to meet new people. I was like, I'm leaving here with something, whether it be another job or whatever. I'm
Right.
gonna network. So I
Right.
had a whole plan. Yeah, I worked there for a week, but I mean, no job interview. I mean, immediately looked out, and that's when you get solid people from the crib like this.
Oh
It's
yeah.
on. Oh my gosh! So shout out to you, but Devin, and then I have a homegirl, whose name is also Dominique. She lives in New York, and she is a food. I'm gonna say food cruff,
Okay.
food buff. She is. I want to say like influencer. But like I would say Food Buff Creator tells you all the hot spots to go to, and
Right.
she is in that process. So I think I love watching that and then finding out that, oh, you into champagne. Where I just learned that the difference between a sparkling wine and champagne is literally where the grapes are produced. Because there was a girl and I having a conversation on New Year's Eve one year, and
Mhm.
we were like, "What's the difference? They
They look
look
the
like
same.
the same."
Yeah,
And so I looked it up. I was like, "What's the difference?" And it's literally because the grapes are produced in Champagne, France,
absolutely,
versus anywhere else.
absolutely.
So can we like talk about that a little bit? Just
Sure.
like the history of the grapes and what because I know ultimately you also have your own line of champagne that we'll get
Absolutely.
to, but just a little quick history lesson.
Yeah, yeah. So, the region of Champagne, everybody knows the one city in France is Paris. Champagne is located about 90 miles northeast of Paris. It's actually the most northern, most northern region probably in the wine world. So it's very, very cool. Very, very cloudy. It's very similar to like Seattle.
Okay.
Yes, we always have a saying. I always try to tell people, remember this: every champagne is a sparkling, but every sparkling is not a champagne. In order to label champagne, it must come from Champagne, France. There are 7 approved grapes you only can use. The 3 primary grapes, what they call like the primary or king grapes, would be Pinot Noir, which helps add structure. You have Pinot Meunier, which just adds a lot of roundness and body to it. Then you have Chardonnay, which is kind of like the backbone. It's the most age-worthy grape of the 3. Very, very crisp, very, very light. Then what you have considered, and that makes up about 98% of the grape production that you get out of Champagne. I'll
Mm.
say 99% actually. Then you have heirloom grapes, which are like secondary grapes. They make up like less than 1%. You have Petit Meunier, you have Aragon, you have Pinot Gris, and you have Pinot Blanc as well. Those are kind of coming back now, but it's still kind of a scarcity thing. But most champagne that you get, whether you're drinking Moet, Vouv, Lasson, Bollinger, it's going to be those 3 main grapes: Pinot Noir, Pinot Meunier, and Chardonnay or whatnot.
Okay, say vous clico one more time for the people.
Vouv, Clicquot. And
Thank
with
you.
Moet, you do say the T.
Um, it's a yeah. I okay. So I've Moet,
Yeah, see, people. All right, this is the thing.
yeah, or Moet.
Claude Moet was not French. He's Austrian. Yeah,
Oh, okay, that
yeah.
changes. Which
Change it.
now, when you look at it with the two little, you're right,
Exactly.
yeah.
You know,
So
so
I
if he
think
was French, you would say Moet, but he's not French, so it's Moet. So like we say Veuve Clicquot, that's why the T is silent because Clicquot is a French name.
okay.
Yeah.
Look at the lessons that we're learning here, and people. I hope you understand. I'm like, it's not Vouve
No,
Cliquot, it is Vouve
no.
Clicquot.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
Veuve means widow. Veuve is a very popular, yeah, it means widow. Yes.
Okay. Now
Yeah.
I didn't know that. It just tastes.
Sounds cool.
And I actually prefer the rosé over the regular
I do.
champagne.
Yeah, I'm not a big yellow label fan. I prefer rose actually is my favorite style of champagne, period.
Okay.
Across the board. But no, their rose is absolutely amazing. Veuve, I would say yellow label. Well, yellow label, they call it yellow label because if you ever seen a Veuve Clicquot bottle, it has that big, large
Hmm.
yellow label on it, and that red looks like scribble scrabble on there is Madame Clicquot's signature. That's her actual signature name on every bottle or whatnot. But that
Right.
it's so mass produced. It just this is the
Don't
thing.
don't 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 hurt the people feelings,
No, no, no,
friend.
no, 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 no. I mean, to be honest, in Champagne, you have things divided into like different like producer codes, and so big house what they call grand marks. So that calls into like that falls in line with like Moet, Vouv, things. Let's see, what's another one? Moet, Vouv, Bollinger, Piper Heidsieck, things of that label. They're all about consistency more than they're about quality.
Okay.
So they have a certain type of formula they use, and they just produce it every year, nonstop. They ain't caring about if it was a good year, bad year. Hey, this is the formula we're gonna use. We're just gonna put it out. Then you have small producers, who I work with, who is about what they call terroir driven wines. Terroir means it's the essence of place. So it's going to taste different from year in and year out or whatnot. And that's what I bring into the U.S. market.
Okay. So where does Prosecco fall in line with all of this?
So prosecco, all right. So champagne is made what they call the method champenois or the traditional method. It is something that started in Champagne, whereas prosecco is actually made in Italy. It's in a place called Prosecco DOC, which is in northeast Italy, and the grape for prosecco is called Glera. It used to be called prosecco. The grape used to be called prosecco, but once they actually named the area prosecco or whatnot, they changed the grape name to Glera. The major difference is the method in which it is made. Prosecco is made what they call the Charmat method. And Charmat method means that it goes through, so both champagne, all sparkling wines go through a second fermentation. If you don't know what a fermentation is, it's basically how you get it from a still wine to, well, basically creating a still wine. You have to create a still wine first. But champagne goes through that process twice. Well, all sparkling wines go through that process 2 times. Um, Traditional method or the method champenois is a bottle method. So it goes to the second fermentation inside of the bottle or
Okay.
whatnot. Whereas Prosecco, their second fermentation takes place in a tank. And then once they be like, hey, we want to create 1,000 bottles, then they pour that juice into the bottle, cork it, bottle it, and go about its business. So that's really different. That's why when you taste Prosecco, it's usually really, really light. The bubbles are a little bit softer. Whereas
Hmm.
champagne is a little bit more
It's
slap.
hard.
Yes,
Yeah.
a little bit harsh.
Yeah. I because I that's what probably I don't know if what's the process like the difference between like a rosé and then like regular champagne. But I was like, oh, there's something like more like that's lighter about
Yeah.
that, and then but we keep prosecco in the house,
Oh yeah,
so yeah, because it's just
it's
like you don't get that or that hangover,
yeah,
that dehydration that you feel
yeah.
sometimes from drinking champagne all day. I don't experience that. And my sister kicks it up a notch. They mix it with whiskey. That's another level of drunkenness and
Man,
booziness. I don't understand. I tried and I was just like, oh,
y'all some pros
y'all some pros.
for real. I mean, I would say one of my favorite fall cocktails, and it has a different name. I just call it a whiskey based French 75. Is that's probably my favorite fall cocktail. I mean, I'll
Okay.
it's basically the same as a regular French 75 is basically gin. It's basically a lemon drop with champagne on top,
Okay.
whatnot. Whereas a whiskey based one, instead of gin, you just use cognac, whiskey, whatever, bourbon,
Okay.
and just pour it in there, and it's really really it keeps you warm. That's why I like it. It's like I'm a big patio person, so in the wintertime, I'm always outside sitting
Okay.
cigar and French 75, whiskey based French 75. But it's really really delicious. It's really really good. And, but yeah, I'm not surprised. I mean, it's kind of hard for me to like mix champagne with like other things because I have a real funny story. One of my closest friends here, I had got him a bottle of 2006 Dom Perignon for his birthday. And if you know Dom Perignon is like the famous monk they say who invented champagne. That's not true. That is a lie. He did not invent champagne. He made a lot of how can I say trailblazing things to help champagne the way it is today. But he did not invent champagne. Somebody tell you that's not true.
Um, he's not the monk, right?
Here's the monk. That's the monk.
Okay, okay. I listen. It's some things that I know, and that I was
Yeah,
like, okay, wait. I said, was he the monk or no? I just yes.
yeah.
Okay,
So
yes, he's
he
playing for me.
you got it. You on point. No, he is the monk. The Moet's one of their marketing people actually used his name to start Dom Perignon. Dom Perignon is kind of like the echelon. Well, it was the echelon. What they call a prestige cuvee, which every house has one. So, like, say for example, we're talking about Veuve Clicquot. Like their prestige cuvee is Le Grand Dame. Um,
Okay,
Bollinger is like Cafe Annie or RD, whatever RD and whatever the year is or whatnot. So Dom's for Moet it was Dom Perignon until Dom Perignon became his own individual house or whatnot. But I bought my friend a bottle, 2006. This bottle was valued like $300 something. And so a couple of days later, I called him. I was like, "Hey, bro, how you doing? What's going on?" He's like, "Yeah, man. You know, me and my mom, we made mimosas on Sunday." And I was like, "Okay, that's cool." He's like, "Yeah, man, that bottle was good." I said, "You're not saying what I think you're saying." He's like, "What?" I was like, "Did you use that Dom Perignon to make mimosas?" He was like, "Yeah." I was like, "Never again. Never. You listen. Do not waste a 300 bottle of champagne on mimosas. Enjoy
You
the
know, I you,
enjoy the don't.
I it's I don't think people understand like special occasion things, and when you think about that,
Yeah.
like I have certain things on my cart where it's like, okay, this is below, or you got to put up because this
Yeah.
is just not every day. And a girl got me a bottle of Jack Daniels, but like the prestige point
Oh yeah.
for my half birthday last year. I was like, it's not my real birthday.
Right.
Like
Right.
this is a half birthday. I don't really even think I just I want cake.
Yeah.
So I wanted y'all to have cake with me. So yeah, that's on the lower shelf on my rack. Like I no. And so some people just are not aware, or I would say, if you will, wine and spirit
Mhm.
snobs like
Yeah.
you are. And so you just had a teachable moment, and now
Very
you know going forward,
absolutely. I mean,
what you not
I'll say this. I mean, you always want to have a house like a house of bubbles. You know, just so when friends come over, or even for yourself to have to drink. Like ours in my house is Charles Isaac. Uh,
okay.
that's what we usually drink here. Like when friends come over, I usually do J Sparkling. J Sparkling is a very popular. It's based in California. Uh,
Okay.
really, really good. It's a nice bright green bottle with a huge gold J on it.
Okay.
Really, really delicious. Really, really like that one. Those are the two I typically use. Usually a bottle of like Charles is like $50. $50 a bottle. And they make the
Okay.
minis. They make the minis as well, the little individual ones or whatnot. So yeah, that's the one we typically drink at the house.
Okay. Okay. So you got your license,
Mhm,
you passed your sommelier test in 2017.
mhm.
Kind of take us through that process, because I know it's a rigorous,
Yeah,
intense process. So to get to the other side,
yeah.
how did that feel? What does that look like? What was that experience for you?
Well, as I was saying earlier, when I met my mentor. My mentor was the wine steward. He's kind of like we call him Yoda because he's kind of like the wine guru for everybody that comes through Houston. Everybody kind of goes sits with him and talks with him about being in the industry or whatnot. And when I went to actually go study, I thought I was going to just learn about my department or whatnot. It was like, nah, man, you coming in this class, you're gonna be getting ready to become a sommelier. And I had no idea what a sommelier was, what it entailed. Nothing. It, like honestly, my story is just like Uncorked. Literally,
Okay.
like the movie Uncorked.
Yes, I was
And,
gonna say, which is on Netflix Live. If it's still there, because you know how they do.
yeah, exactly. They take away and bring it back. Take away and bring it back. If it ain't there, it'll be there in February for Black History
Oh,
Month.
you right.
Maybe it's Black History Month. But it was kind of along the lines of that. And there are multiple at that time. I didn't know about other kind of like wine certifications that was out there, like WSET or Wine Scholar Guild, and there's some other ones as well. I just knew about the quartermasters. And yes, it is as hard as advertised. The quartermasters kind of went through some very legal things, both internally, and they've kind of switched up a lot of the process, but the work is still the same.
Okay.
I would say that I would tell anybody because like being a som is kind of like the cool name people in the wine industry want to be attached to themselves, and there's nothing wrong with that. The term sommelier is such a broad term now. Once I got into it, it was really strictly. It was starting to branch off from just being a person who's on the floor every night at a restaurant, so on and so forth. Like you have some master somms who are wine directors who import like I do, who have their own vineyards now, who are just wine educators. So it's such a broad term now. Whereas then it was kind of like, hey, if you're doing this, man, you need to be trying to get in a restaurant and be over a wine program and things of that nature. But if you don't plan on being actually in a restaurant, do WSET, get your diploma. It's 4 steps, just like it is for the quartermasters, and do that route. I mean, the only difference between that exam and the exam that I took is service. Like the diploma doesn't have a service aspect. It's strictly like theory and tasting, which is cool. It's more for like an educational piece. So you know what I'm saying for wine education, whereas for me, it's more preparing me to be at a restaurant, understand the wine menu because mine's is wine, cocktails, all that. And what W said, I think cocktails is a little bit of it, but it's not a major piece like it is with the quartermasters.
Okay. So what was it about champagne that kind of had that hold on you versus the other side of it where, you see people, like I said, their specification is wine. So for
Right.
you, what was it about champagne that really kind of like lured you in?
Well, one thing about me is that I've always been a history buff.
Okay.
And a couple of fun facts about Champagne is where all the kings and queens were coordinated in France in Reims, or at the Cathedral of Reims. That's where they would have their coordination at whenever there's a new king or queen. Um, the first king of France, Clovis the First, was actually baptized in Reims. That's kind of why they do that there. Every major European war, going back to the Hundred Years' War all the way to World War II, actually was fought in Champagne. When you go to Champagne and go through the vineyards, sometimes you can still see, like, you still pick up bullets in the dirt. You can still get those type of things. So every major European
Mhm.
war was fought through there or whatnot. So I've always been a big history person. So it was the history aspect that kind of really drew me into it. When I passed my certified exam, I remember my mentor, Mr. Jaime De Leon, telling me, "All right, you've done so much in such a little time. I need you to take like a step back, and you know how to study, but I want you to pick a region, dive deep into it, and then once you do that, just move on to the next one." I just started with Champagne and just never left. I've been
I
hooked
love
ever
that.
since. I've been hooked ever since. So that's been like my thing. I like wine, but I love champagne.
Okay. So what's the biggest misconception about champagne as people are out here trying different brands? Because like you said, we have the prestige price
Right.
point,
Right.
intermediate, and then you have like an entry level gateway into champagne. Just like any other brand, Chanel does it, Valentino. But for you, what is kind of the biggest misconception, and what is something that you would tell somebody that is not necessarily the biggest fan of champagne?
One is that it is a wine first. Some people like to put wine and champagne on two different levels, but no, it's champagne first of all. First and foremost, it is a wine.
Okay.
Second, it's meant to be drank every day. It's not just a celebratory thing. Especially in America, we kind of get this enigma of like, unless it's a birthday, a job promotion, or New Year's Eve, there's no need for champagne. Champagne is it's the easiest wine to pair with any food. It goes with everything under the sun. Whatever you eating, champagne goes with, and it's a palate cleanser. That's why when you go out to like galas or dinners or or like meet and greets and things like that, they start off with a glass of bubbles because it cleanses the palate and it rejuvenates the palate to get you ready for your sit down dinner or any type of snack or thing you're gonna eat. And it's also just it's every day is fun. Champagne's supposed to make you smile. It's supposed to make you happy. It's not something that's depressing, and it's just attached with such a um, good embodiment of marketing. James Bond, Bollinger, Marilyn Monroe, Piper Heidsieck. And it's just something that I think people just have a stigma just associated with celebrating a good time. But no, it's something that you definitely can drink and enjoy every day, like you do your Sauvignon Blancs, your Rieslings, your Cabernet Sauvignons, your whiskeys. You can enjoy that every day. And champagne and fried chicken goes really, really great together.
You know what? We're not staying here because what I champagne and fried chicken, friend. What?
Yes. And I ain't talking about like Popeyes. Like, I mean, I like Popeyes and stuff. I'm talking about homemade fried chicken. Yes. I'm telling you, rose, champagne rose, and pizza, pepperoni pizza, amazing.
I mean, you might have me do something today.
Do that. I'm
No,
telling you. You get
that
you
is hilarious. I'll have to circle back and let y'all know if it was worth the calories. Okay.
I'm telling you, you would not be let down. You
Oh
would
my gosh.
you would definitely enjoy Yes, those are some classic like popcorn, and a nice blown to blown, which is 100%
Well,
Chardonnay.
yeah, I get. Well, yeah. I mean, I eat pop. I am an Olivia Pope type of girly where I
Yeah,
would have a glass of red wine with some popcorn. So I do know those things to be true. That will be dinner some nights. But speaking of pairing things, you also have created your own line of champagne,
yeah,
not to be confused with sparkling wine. How
absolutely.
does that make you feel that you have grapes from champagne?
I mean, it feels great. It's a matter of so what my company Serene Champagne Selections. What we do is we do have our line coming up, but we're importing right now.
Okay.
We focus on eco and vegan friendly champagne. That's another thing misconception. For all I know, because we live in a very health conscious society now, a lot of champagne is vegan friendly. I guess the question, well, how is it vegan friendly? Well, a lot of yeah.
Okay, so my question is,
Mhm.
what makes it not vegan?
Okay.
Is there gelatin or something that I'm missing?
Yeah.
Because
So
wait,
basically,
really?
yeah, seriously, like Voodoo Clico is vegan friendly. Friendly.
Okay.
Go
So
ahead.
okay, so can you please explain before we super quick before we talk about your brand?
Yeah.
Yeah, because I'm confused.
So basically, to make a champagne, so when you make champagne, they do use additives to help keep it stored, keep it from like the wine is a living organism, and they do add additives to it to keep it alive over the course of time because people like to age wine, and with some of those additives they use, it does have animal byproducts in it or whatnot.
Oh, okay.
So in order to do that, they have found out a way to use byproducts that is plant based or not to help create a vegan style wine or champagne. So that's what I specialize in. Mhm.
Can I say something maybe controversial?
Sure,
But plants are a living organism.
true.
So I don't that's how I'm be understanding like
I mean,
vegans and
because plant,
stuff. 'Cause I be like, yo, plants have to they breathe too.
but it's not a, but
So
it's not a byproduct. Like they use like egg whites. Some byproducts have like well-based products and things like that. But all the products they use for
okay.
vegan is strictly plant. Yes, plants are a live organ, but it's nothing coming from something that had a heartbeat, four legs, hooves, anything like that. Yeah,
Hmm.
I'm just
No,
saying.
I understand. I just be having questions when I ask, like,
Well, no, you're totally understandable. But
but
most
that's neither here nor there. It's back to you. This is about you.
so what Serene Champagne Selections is that we are an importing company. I am the world's first African American 100% champagne importer in the world, first one ever. Very proud of that. And also, I'm the state of Texas first black master of champagne. I'm very proud of that as well. And what we basically are doing is bringing in very eco-friendly, whether sustainable, organic, biodynamic, all three, one or the other, or vegan friendly, into the Texas market. A lot of people hear that they think because natural wines is a very popular thing, very popular trend in the wine industry. I guess you can consider them along the same lines as that, but usually when people try natural wines, they think it's very cloudy and tart. But no, if I didn't tell you it was any of those things, you wouldn't be able to tell the difference at all. It's not going to look any different. It's not going to taste any different. The bubbles are going to not look any different. It's going to taste and drink just like a regular champagne. It's just more health conscious. And that's what we want to promote because that's kind of the way of the wine world is going. That's the way France is going. France is definitely pushing a more um, healthier way of drinking, not just in Champagne, but across France in general. And France is kind of like the heartbeat of the wine world. Oh, now whatever way France usually goes is the way everybody else in the wine industry and spirit industry usually goes also. So they really are pushing this very healthy drinking style. And like I said, we live in a very health conscious society now. People are they worried about how many steps they take, calories, how many drinks they want to drink in a day. So we want to be on the right side of that and not on the wrong side. So that's what we push into the Texas South Carolina, and hopefully by this time next year, we'll be in the Missouri market.
I love that. I love that. So, okay. Will this be something like okay, and remind me, I want to say the company's name correctly.
Serene, Serene.
Serene.
Yes.
Oh, okay. Okay. I don't know what I was reading, but I was like, okay, making sure because
No,
like we talked, I want to say things correctly, and I
all
wanted to
good.
educate everybody to say something. Okay, so Serene, is this ultimately a I know the markets, the doors that you want to get in, but ultimately, are we able to possibly order online? Are we going to venture there to
Mhm.
the e-com space?
Yes, yes. So what Serene? So basically, what my company is like, I'm wanting to create kind of like an ecosystem, um,
Okay.
or whatnot. Serene Champagne Selection is the important aspect. I will begin once I get things going in the way that I feel comfortable. I'll move on into what I would like to call Serene Selects, which is going to be basically like my wine club, which eventually would
Okay.
be a nationwide thing where we can ship you. It's going to be different type of tier levels. Still trying to iron that out, but basically it'll be either a monthly, quarterly, every 1, 3, or 6 months. You'll have the option of receiving a subscription from us where it'll be 2, 3 bottles. A really, really dope producers that we think you should try. And it'd be some kind of really cool perks that comes with that with online shopping, things of that nature. And basically trying to create a space to where we get our people who are members to take a trip to Champagne, take them to go see these houses and enjoy these wonderful, wonderful champagnes in Champagne. Get to meet some of these
Love
really,
it.
really cool producers and enjoy, just have a good time.
That's really dope. Because we're seeing like a lot of different companies start to do the subscription based brand because that also keeps your retention levels kind of high as well, coming back for more. Um, and I mean, you're gonna have to have a tier where people are getting like 6 bottles
Oh yeah.
in one sitting because if you're drinking champagne with chicken and pizza and somebody's enjoying it every day.
Yeah. I mean, hey, we are. That's one thing about us is that we are a community based company, and it's all about what the consumer wants, and that's what we thrive
Yeah.
on. One thing is that we want to always stay relatable. We want people to see the champagne as something that can be done every day for every type of price points. Like every champagne I'm bringing in right now, retail wise, is under $70, which is
Okay.
about a little below the average market price. I'm not gonna sit up here and say it's always gonna be that way, but in order to get a step into the industry and to the marketplace, we want to do that because we want everybody to feel like there is something inclusive for them.
Yeah.
Whether you are the single person, the couple, or you're the married couple, we always want you to feel like champagne is affordable. It is a luxury product. I'm not gonna sit up here and say it's not. It very much is that. But there are some really cool champagnes that do fall within a very approachable price point that you can enjoy and still have the same great experience as you would if you would pay for something that's like 90 to $100.
Okay, I love that. I love that. So, what's next for you? As far as, I know you're ironing out the details of
Mhm.
the subscription, package and everything, but what does the next 2 years maybe look like for you?
Oh, I mean, I'm glad you asked that. Well, getting the champagne business going, getting the subscription going, and to me, it is one getting our warehouse, buying and owning our own warehouse, which would be climate control, and also be a what they consider like LEED certified or energy efficient place as well. We're gonna do something that's eco friendly. Everything has to be eco-friendly from our building to the type wine that we bring to the market. Having that warehouse, and lastly opening up our wine bar. That is the ultimate goal, is to have a hybrid wine bar, wine shop where people can come in and purchase our bottles and also try different other sparkling wines from around the world, from England, from the United States, from South Africa, from Australia, from Germany, and things like that. And also just come in, enjoy a nice glass, have some really cool small bites, caviar and chips, hot dogs, hot dogs and champagne,
I'm not listen.
Chicago dog and some champagne.
We'll see. We'll see. Like,
Telling
I listen. I still listen. I still can't get past
the
the
fried
chicken, but
chicken.
you know what? It's fine. It's fine. You about to hit me to something new.
I'm telling you, but no, that is ultimately goal in the next 3 years, and also and to be more important than anything, if all that doesn't happen, we want to be a household name
Yeah.
in the U.S. market, as far as people entrusting us to know that when they see that name Serene on the back of the label, that this is something of high quality and that this is something that they will enjoy. That's
I
the most important thing.
I love that. Well, Cornelius, thank you so much for stopping by and chatting with
Absolutely.
us. And I can't wait to do more of this and learn more about just wine, champagne in general. Because that is somewhere that I like, oh, as you go out and you're trying different things and doing different things, uh, and being able to understand and taste the notes. Because
Oh,
at this moment, listen, I'm a Merlot and I'm a Pinot Noir girl, and I love a good Riesling. I
nothing
love a
wrong
good
with that.
Riesling.
Absolutely. You like
Yeah.
spicy food?
You say what?
You like spicy food?
Yes.
Riesling all day.
Okay. Okay.
Riesling all day. If you like Indian, anything, any type of spicy food goes well with a sweeter or off dry style wine, because it's gonna kill the spice, like
Okay.
like that.
Sidebar: the best Indian food I've had so far has been in Paris, but that's none of my business.
Hey man, that's
Uh, she was like, "Oh my god, you're such a no." I'm like, "No," and it was like on a whim. How I even had this chicken.
really.
Like it was so random, and we were leaving. Did we get to Versailles early, or were we leaving? I think we might have gotten to Versailles, like that neighborhood, kind of early before they
Okay.
opened. So we
Okay.
were kind of just wandering around. But I had breakfast, but I was still so hungry and had some good Indian food. And oh
Man,
my god,
over there, man, over there, you just the portions are so small. You just go through so much food. You be like, listen, this is it. Like, yeah, like I want to eat like 30 minutes from now because it's everything's just small portion.
well, correct portion, but they eat a lot of carbs. I would
You
say a lot
do,
of carbs, so you could
do.
do a carb overload
Oh
and
yeah,
still be fine because you're walking so much.
right, right.
So
That is true.
yeah, I will say we drank and ate so much and did not gain an ounce, did not gain an ounce
There you go.
of weight.
There you
So,
go.
but I definitely want to have you back to converse more
Yeah.
about, the industry and everything and just other stuff. Cause we always have good conversations. Like what you think about this or that. I'm
Oh
like,
yeah. Oh yeah. I mean, I would love to do a I can do a champagne cocktail night. We, get some stuff together. We can do some champagne cocktails and put some stuff together. I know you ladies like to have girls' night at the house and out with your friends. Do some stuff like that. We can talk about pairings. We can do a whole bunch of different things.
yes, I definitely want to do that because I'm a girl that likes to entertain.
Yeah.
And I love having people over or going to somebody's house. Like I have a girlfriend, and I was gonna tell us like, we should have, events that we put on because we both would like to entertain. And so she's the same way, tablecloth, candles, all of that. So I'm like, yeah, we have to do something together. So
My wife is
yeah,
just
man.
she loves entertaining guests. You know what it feels like sometimes. I feel you as a kid, they always say like, "Yeah, hey, come on, Steve." Parents be like, "Come on here and dance, do that dance, sing that song for these people." That's how my wife would do me. Come on here and talk about this champagne to these people. Tell them about this.
I love that. See, listen, you have another pocket that you're unlocking that you can monetize.
But it's
So
what's crazy. The crazy thing about me is that I'm really an introvert. Like I don't
I
like
can tell. I can see that. I
I
can see
don't
that.
listen. I am cool, like sitting by myself, reading a book. Maybe watching some TV whenever I have a chance. But like, I'm just quiet. You won't even know I'm there. Literally, I am. I am. I mean, I know how I have to be. I've doing. I think I will say about I love about doing what I'm doing is that it's kind of forced me to get out of my shell.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
for me to I have to talk to people, be in front of people, do seminars, things of that. And I'm very happy for that because it gives me a little bit of balance. But no, once I check out, like listen, I will be in a book or probably doing some work or something, put some headphones in, and you won't even know I'm here.
That's the man. Look, I get it. I get it. I'm an introvert, extrovert. Like I enjoy as much as I am outside. I come home like, oh, child, I am depleted,
Yeah,
and I will be at home. Like so, going out yesterday, I'll be at home all week,
I can
just
understand that.
chilling, just quiet, watching The Gilded Age,
Yeah.
getting work done, and just in my bubble. I definitely enjoy that a lot. Um,
Oh, one
because
last
as
thing.
you get older, things change. You
Oh
know.
yeah. I mean, because I have kids, so
Yeah.
I try and get whenever I get a quiet moment. Like my day typically starts at like 3 in the morning.
Oh, I have a girlfriend like that, so I
Yeah.
get it.
Three to six, are like my prime working hours. Like
Okay.
everybody sleep. It's just me. I can get my meditation in. I can, get these around that time because it's a 7 hour time difference from here to France. This is usually when I do a lot of like talking to like my producers, talking to the logistics team, things of that nature, getting business done. But also it's just a time for me to just think without, a lot of distraction. My 2 year old running around, daddy, 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 or my 7 year old like, daddy, you want to watch me run? So that is kind of like all I hear is snoring. It's all I hear. A
I
lot of
love it.
a lot of stuff. But one last thing I do want to say this is not champagne related, but if you guys have a chance, go support Regina King's orange wine she just released. It's a very beautiful story. She dedicated it to her son. If you don't know that story, just look it up. But it's really, really delicious. And if you have a chance, check out. She had an interview with Wine Enthusiasts. It's on their podcast. She kind of goes into detail about that. Very, very good. I'm not a big celebrity wine person, but I did have a chance to try hers, and the story is just as good as the wine is, which is a rarity with celebrity wines, but it's really, really good. The story is even more touching. So if you have a chance, definitely go out and support that, support her, and that wonderful orange wine that she has out.
All right, and we'll link that in the show notes as well. So, guys, Cornelius, tell everybody where they can find you to stay connected with you.
Absolutely. On IG, it is champagne_master. If you want to shoot me an email, Cornelius at serenechampagneselections.com. I'm always interested in hearing, what the people like, what the people want. And if you ever need some suggestions, just shoot me a DM or shoot me an email, and I'm always quick to respond back. And I always remember, may your only pain be champagne.
Oh, that's cute. Thank y'all so much. Be sure to like, subscribe, and share the podcast with everyone that you know. Let's get these numbers up, as well as my watch hours on YouTube because y'all keep playing. So yeah, and that's all y'all have for me. And I will see y'all back here next week.
Peace, guys.